So I told 20,000 people that rebounding drains your lymphatic system. And then people came at me. Doctors, researchers, medical advisors showed up in my comments demanding hard evidence. So I did what any RN would do. I went down a research rabbit hole, and I have a few things I want to set straight. So in this video, I talked about how rebounding helps drain your lymphatic system. And honestly, I believe that it does. But here's where I went wrong. I presented it as proven science, and we're just not quite there yet. And I'm not okay with just being another wellness influencer telling you things that I can't back up. So today we're going to look at the research, what it shows, and where we need to do more studies. So if you've been rebounding for any period of time, you probably have heard about the famous NASA study from 1989 that gets quoted everywhere in the rebounding world. This study claims that rebounding is 68% more effective than running. But here's what the study actually measured: biomechanical force through the joints, not calorie burn, not lymphatic drainage, and not cardiovascular efficiency. And there's something even more interesting. Those claims were not even made by NASA. They came from a man named Albert Carter, who wrote a book in 1989 promoting his rebounding sales. He needed science to sell his product, so he borrowed NASA's credibility and just ran with it. And the fitness industry has been repeating this study ever since. So what about lymphatic drainage? Now, here's my honest answer. There's no peer-reviewed clinical research that definitively proves that rebounding drains the lymphatic system, at least none that I could find, and I looked really hard. But the theory makes physiological sense. Your lymphatic system has no pump, so it relies on movement, muscle contractions, and deep breathing to keep fluid moving. And that up and down bouncing movement of the rebounder could theoretically stimulate those one-way valves in the lymphatic system. The G-force changes with each bounce, and muscles contract and release. This is a reasonable hypothesis, but a hypothesis is not necessarily the same as proven science. Now, what I can tell you is after my last video, my inbox and comment section blew up with women telling me their personal stories. They reported less swelling, less puffiness in their face, their hands, and their abdomen, and reduced edema in their lower extremities. Now that's anecdotal evidence, not clinical proof, but when hundreds of women are reporting the same thing, I think it deserves to be taken seriously while we wait for the research to catch up. Before we go any further, if you're new to rebounding or even just thinking about getting started, I put together a free resource, the Beginner Safety Guide to Rebounding, that covers everything you need to know before you step onto the trampoline. Go ahead and grab it in the links below. And speaking of anecdotal evidence, I want to share something that happened to me the first week I started rebounding. So I was just doing 2 minutes a day for 7 days. That's it. And by the end of that first week, I was a total mess. I had a runny nose, congestion, fatigue, full cold-like symptoms. And that's when I went down a research rabbit hole and found that I was far from alone. Loads of other people reported the same thing when they first started rebounding. Now, could that be coincidence? Absolutely. But many people, myself included, believe that it may be the body's response to increased lymphatic activity. Now, is that proven? No, but I'm not going to dismiss this evidence either. As an RN, I know the difference between a false claim and just a true observation. And I think that's something that's really important to take seriously. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about what science actually does back up, because there are some genuinely impressive benefits of rebounding that just don't get nearly enough attention. First of all, balance and fall prevention. And this is a big one, especially for the women I work with who are over 50. In a 2019 study published in the Clinical Interventions on Aging, they found that many trampoline training significantly improved balance and functional mobility in older women, especially with osteopenia. And that matters tremendously. Falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury, and rebounding is one of the most enjoyable ways I can think of to help you stay active, train your body, and stay steady on your feet. Next is cardiovascular health. Rebounding gets your heart rate up, improves your circulation, and gives you a solid, low-impact cardio workout. Plus, best part, it's gentle on your joints, so it's sustainable, something you can actually stick with, and I think that's one of the most important factors when it comes to picking an exercise program. Okay, next is joint-friendly movement. That NASA study that may have been a little bit misused, there is something that it did legitimately show. At the same level of cardiovascular exertion, rebounding puts less stress on your joints than running on a hard surface. That includes a treadmill. For women dealing with knee issues, hip problems, or general joint sensitivity, that can be a total game changer. Next, bone density. While more studies need to be done, early research suggests that mild gravitational load of rebounding can support bone density. This is particularly relevant for women over 50 who are navigating menopause and bone health. Energy and mood. Now this one's harder to measure, but almost universally reported. Bouncing just makes you feel good. There's something about that rhythmic movement that shifts your energy and boosts your mood. And I notice it every single time I step onto my rebounder. Now, before we go any further, I just want to talk about the rebounder I personally love. It's this one, the BCAN BT4. I'll put a link down below so you can check it out, and you can use my discount code to save a little bit of money. A couple things I love about it. First of all, it's safe, it's quiet, it's weighted for 450 pounds. I like it because it fits really nice and compact in my home. It's also got this great safety bar with my phone holder that I can put my phone on and watch a video while I bounce. So it's perfect for me. I love it and I recommend it for all of my beginners. So where do I land on all of this? Do I think rebounding supports lymphatic drainage? Yes, I do. Do I think anecdotal evidence from hundreds of women is worth paying attention to? Absolutely. Do I have peer-reviewed clinical proof to set in front of you? Not yet. And I should have been a little bit more clear about that in my original video. What I know for sure is that rebounding is one of the most accessible, joint-friendly, and effective forms of exercise available for folks of all ages. The balance benefits alone make it totally worth doing. And if it happens to help your immune system and your lymphatic drainage move a little bit more effectively, I'll take it, even if the science hasn't caught up yet. All right, to wrap things up, go ahead and download your beginner's safety guide to rebounding down in the links below. And I also made another video. It's called 6 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Started Rebounding. And honestly, I wish this video existed when I first started. I'll leave the link right here. Go ahead and watch it now, and I'll see you in the next video.